Hujambo mtazamaji wa runinga ya Undugu na karibu sana kwenye makala yetu ya mawimbi ya wiki. Wiki jana yaliweza kutokea mengi na wiki hii vile vile mengi yameweza kujitokeza. Viongozi kutoka kaunti mbalimbali na maeneo mbalimbali wameropokwa, wengi wakirushana maneno yale ambayo hayawezi zungumzika kwa urahisi na wale ambao wameweza kukomaa. Mazungumzo yale ambayo yameweza kujitokeza kati ya Rais William Ruto na aliyekuwa naibu wake Rigathi Gachagua. Ili tuweze kuzungumzia haya yote na desturi ile ambayo inapaswa kuwa na viongozi, mtafuta mtaalamu na mwanasiasa Mheshimiwa Steve Biko wa Fula. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Mwanzo jitambulishe vizuri na wasalimu watazamaji wetu, tuendelee.
Thank you for this opportunity. Kwa majina naitwa Steve Biko wa Fula. Mimi ni mkaaji wa Webuye West. Lakini tuko Nairobi kutafuta hali ya kulisha familia. Na pia mimi ni mgombeaji wa kiti cha ubunge, na nikiona maybe nitasimama either Webuye West ama Roysambu.
Okay. Tuzungumze mwanzo kuhusu maeneo ya Webuye West na maeneo ya Roysambu. Mwanzo tuangazie katika kaunti ya Bungoma. Maeneo yale Rais William Ruto amekuwa pale na amezungumza mambo mengi sana, matamshi yale ambayo hawezi sikika hata na mtoto mdogo. Mwanzo kiongozi kama rais akizungumza matamshi kama yale, katika maeneo yenu mna feel vipi?
Mimi kama mkaji wa Webuye niko na huzuni sana. I'm actually very disappointed kwa sababu kumekuwa na pattern ya president. Akikuja Western Kenya anakuja na matusi. Anatusi viongozi wetu wa nyumbani. Mambo yenye alisema jana Wednesday na Tuesday yametukera sisi watu wa Mlembe sana, kwa sababu he said things that even my own children cannot be able to watch or listen to, and the way he's speaking ni kama sisi watu wa Mlembe anatudharau sana. Kwa sababu akitaka kutusi watu wote kwa siasa anakujanga Bungoma, anaenda Busia, anamalizia Trans Nzoia. Ni matusi tu. Na him being president, he's the holder of the presidency. The presidency is a full institution whose main purpose is unifying the people of Kenya. He is my president. Hata kama nilimpigia kura ama sikumpigia kura, we are united by virtue that he is a president for the people of Kenya. His utterances they've gone against the spirit of the constitution. Chapter 6, which looks at the element of leadership and integrity, speaks of how a president should conduct themselves. The entire chapter lays the foundation on how a president should behave in front of people, in public and in private.
Shikilia hapo Biko, utaniruhusu nikatize kwa sababu tutakuja hapo, kwa sababu nilikuwa namsikiza Senior Counsel Governor James Orengo anasema ile chapter 6 na mambo na integrity, kuna kigezo kimoja kile ambacho rais tayari sasa hivi ameweza kukiuka na kinaweza kutumika kuweza kumbandua kutoka ofisini iwapo mabunge yetu mawili yanafanya kazi vizuri. Lakini kwanza tuangazia hapa. Mwaka 2021 alipokuwa anafanya kampeni, kabla hajaweza kushikana na Moses Masika Wetangula, alielekea tu maeneo fulani, nadhani ni maeneo tu hayo yenye tu bado, akaweza kusema tu maneno yale ambayo alikuwa yakimkera Speaker Moses Wetangula. Anasema huyu anapigwa na bibi yake. Juzi amezungumza mengine kuhusu aliyekuwa waziri wa ulinzi Eugene Wamalwa, akisema kwamba mwanzo aweze kupata watoto, aweze kununua diapers, alafu akazungumza mambo mengine yale ambayo ni mazito sana. Anasema hata mke wake ni wa kukodishwa. Kudhalilishwa kule kwa viongozi wa maeneo yenu yale ambayo ni ya magharibi mwa Kenya, mkiasikiza, kwa sababu nimesikia gavana wa kaunti ya Trans Nzoia James George Natembea amesema kwamba huyo ni kiongozi wenu, nyinyi hamna shida naye. Pengine hayo ni matatizo yale ambayo yanamsumbua kule upande wa magharibi mwa Kenya.
To be very honest, in 2021-2022 the president, then he was deputy president, aliongea sana vibaya juu ya Wetangula na vibaya tena sana juu ya Eugene, and it's become a pattern that when he's very angry with people in Kenya, he comes to Western. Kwa sababu sisi ni watu wa Mlembe. Mlembe inamaanisha sisi ni watu wa kukaribisha. Hata ukitutusi bado tutakuchinjia kuku. And in 2022 he really insulted Eugene in ways that even the devil himself is ashamed. And it's like he's developed a pattern. So in 2021, 2022, 2023, wakati wa Gen Z in 2024, akikuja Western ni matusi tu. Na si matusi tu yenye tunaweza gombana kama watu wazima, ni matusi yenye yanaleta aibu sana. Ni matusi ambayo vile ukiangalia vile the governor wa Siaya alisema, there's a segment in chapter 6 that he's actually breached, that if parliament was independent and senate was independent, it was very easy to impeach President Ruto on that point alone. Because as a family man, I'm sitting down watching TV, trying to catch up the events of the day, and you hear the president insulting top leaders from the region. And we as people of Western Kenya, we've come to realize that Ruto does not respect us. That is number one. Number two, Ruto does not respect our leaders. That's number two. And number three, I think because when you listen to his speeches in Mombasa, in Northeastern, in Central, in Rift Valley, he talks about development. Even the opposition leaders in those regions, he will respect them. And I think we people of Western needs to come up and tell Ruto enough is enough. Haya ni matusi yamepita kiasi. Na I heard him yesterday saying that he's not apologetic about it, and it made me realize that indeed as a country we've really fallen short. Our flag has lost its important meaning, and the presidency has become, I mean, in hata nashindwa kupata maneno ya kusema vile mambo yamekuwa. The institution of the presidency has lost its value, purpose, and it is important that the people of Kenya send Ruto home. Na kama itawezekana, we can, I know people who are trying to see if they can pass a motion in parliament to impeach the president because of this. And for one good reason. Eugene has not insulted the president, ever. Matiang'i has not insulted the president. Kalonzo has not insulted the president. Martha Karua has not insulted the president. It's Gachagua who mimicked and was very sarcastic towards the president and the deputy president. He mocked the deputy president's voice, and he mocked the president's way of talking. He was in one of the areas, and he told the people, give me a few minutes, I pretend I am him, and then you laugh very loudly. But the president has gone ahead and insulted now Eugene and Matiang'i and everyone else, people who are very innocent. And it's really, really, really heartbreaking because he is the president. Gachagua is a private citizen. You get? Whatever he says, we cannot hold him to any measure or rule of morality because he's a private citizen. But the president, he's a hold of the presidential element, and he must be held to account at a particular moral level. And Ruto has broken and breached that moral level. And we are young people here. It's very embarrassing. Now we can't even sit down with our families and watch news because you don't know what next Ruto is going to say. And the issues that Ruto insulted Gachagua with, they're very weighty. We demand justice. We demand investigation. And now from my own sources, I can tell that this coming weekend is even going to be worse. And I know he's doing a 9-day tour in Western Kenya, and he doesn't like Western people at all. And it's very unfortunate because he comes from Tarbo, and we are neighbors. How do you insult someone that they need to get a proper wife, that they need to go get children to know the price of diapers, when we know genetically and medically this person cannot have their own biological children? And him as president, having served with the said person in government, is privy to government secrets that are not meant to be public. So I believe that Ruto has lost any moral standing to be president. I believe that the people of Kenya need to speak up and demand that Ruto be held accountable, because now the thing about Kenya is everyone is online. Whether you're a watchman, a boda boda, mtu wa mkono, or the CEO, we are online and we're all consuming the same information. Then you can tell that people are really broken, people are really shocked. And yesterday he made it very worse and said that I am not apologetic and I'm not going to apologize. Hao ndio walitaka siasa ya matope, sasa mimi nimeteremka hapa na sasa tutabambana na nitawanyorosha sana.
Hapo nataka kuingililia Steve Biko kwa sababu baada ya matamshi yale ambayo iliweza kujitokeza mwanzo kutoka kwa Rigathi Gachagua akimwelekezea jinsi ambavyo alivyokonda, na akaweza kujibu. Alielekea upande wa Nakuru akasema ndio tulikuwa tunataka ukuje hapa tupo. Rais William Ruto kama kiongozi wa taifa ambaye ni symbol of national unity, kumbuka vizuri mwaka 2021 wakati wa kampeni walikuwa naweza kumrushia maneno mengi sana aliyekuwa rais wa hapo awali Uhuru Kenyatta. Hatukuwa na rais Uhuru Kenyatta kama aweze kujitokeza na ghadhabu kama zile. Kushuka kwake inamaanisha kwamba ameweza kushusha stature ya presidency, ama tu ni mwanadamu anajaribu kujitetea kiwa na damu?
Wacha niongee kimombo ndio niweze kukueleza vizuri. Ruto has been a political leader for over 35 years. He's held very critical offices until now. His reason is the only politician in the country whose graph of growth is very clear. Gachagua is a private citizen. He can speak. Me and you are on the same level. We can insult, we can talk. We have a constitution that guarantees our freedom of speech, and it carries a lot of obligations and responsibility for us. When the president says that the opposition insulted me, the opposition wanted us to discuss personal politics, I will indulge them, he's failing. Because number one, I've not had any political leader say that we do not want to discuss development, we want to discuss personal politics. I've not had that. And the role of the opposition is to unsettle the current government. It's the role of the opposition to lit fires everywhere. And it's unfortunate that the president has been baited into this particular fight. And unfortunately, we've become the laughingstock globally. I have seen people in South Africa, in Nigeria, in the US laughing at us, wondering what's going on. And you see, for someone like the president, he has a lot of intelligence. He has a lot of advisors. He's a human being, yes, but when you campaign and win the office of the president, you must conduct yourself to a particular level. The unity of this country depends on that office. The way we relate to one another depends on that office. And he had two options. He would have stayed above the petty politics. He would have focused on looking at development issues in Western Kenya, across the country. He would have ignored them. And let me tell you, it would have been the best decision, because no one would have focused on what Gachagua was saying. Because when you ignore someone, they get completely ignored. But now, even if you ask people, Gachagua alisema nini, hawakumbuki, but they will forever remember what Ruto said. And now it's brought into sharp focus the work and purpose of certain institutions, DCI, NIS, military intelligence, the police. If the president has this particular intel on certain Kenyans who've done harm to innocent people and they're not in jail, what's going on? I mean, does he survey people to collect private information about them for leverage? Because whatever he said about Gachagua should actually have Gachagua in prison. But the unfortunate bit is that this is just mudslinging. He's got into the level of where Gachagua wanted him, and it's what the opposition want. Because now we're not talking about there are a lot of issues going on right now. So we have people dying because of the floods across the country. He's not come up and spoken about it. Our infrastructure has collapsed because of the heavy rains. He's not said anything about it. We have a lot of grade 10 students who've not been able to go to, to school. The change from junior secondary to senior secondary. He's not talking about it. We have a lot of issues happening in the Middle East. We are worried about the availability of oil and fuel in the country. He's not looking at it. Other countries are trying to stock up, trying to make sure that their countries are self-sustaining. So we are now discussing village and bar gossip at the highest level of leadership. And now I'm wondering, if the president is talking about petty issues, what am I supposed to talk about? What are you supposed to talk about? He's failed. And if our judiciary was very serious, if we had a very strong and independent IEBC, Ruto will not be president. Ruto will be in jail. Chapter 6 alone of our constitution is enough to convict Ruto. It is enough. But we are this country where, you know, tribalism, mtu wetu syndrome, and it's very unfortunate. And I'm hoping that reason will prevail, that Ruto will calm down and come and make an apology to the people of Kenya. He's a human being who will understand, and we will know that, you know, even when a wise man makes a mistake, he owns up to it. You know, no Kenyan is demanding an explanation from Eugene, from Kalonzo, from Gachagua. No, because who are they? They're not elected. But we are demanding an explanation from Ruto. And him saying that the opposition wanted him to come here, there's no evidence of such.
Tumalizie na hii mambo yote ya lugha chafu na matusi baina ya wanasiasa, kwa sababu nao wameelekezewa. Baada ya Gachagua kuzungumza kama mtu binafsi, aliweza kumwelekezea Matiang'i maneno yale ambayo yalikuwa yanaeleweka, akisema kwamba yule amekula, amenona sana. Naye Matiang'i akisema sikuli kwako, akasema nakula ndizi. Ruto naye akasema ndizi ndio pia mimi nakula, lakini kula kupunguza. Akaelekezea Kalonzo Musyoka, anasema anatengeneza hata barabara ya kwake. Akamwelekezea ndugu yetu Eugene Wamalwa. Viongozi hao wale ambao pengine hawakuwa katika yale mazungumzo ya Gachagua yeye mwenyewe kwenda mbele, kwa sababu sasa tunaelekea katika siku za weekendi, na weekendi tunajua siasa pia zinachacha kivyake. Wamjibu ama tu anyamazie, iwe kwamba wao ndio yule kiongozi aliye juu, wamwache Ruto akiwa pale chini.
Kenye kinanuzunisha sana ni kuwa our leadership, vile mambo imefika, no one is going to be the bigger person. Hakuna mwenye atasema mimi ni kiongozi, wacha niachane na hii maneno, tuongee mambo ya maendeleo, mambo ya Wakenya, mambo ya kuleta umoja na mambo ya kutafuta vijana wetu kazi. Unfortunately, hii weekend, kwa sababu najua kuna mambo mingi, kuna mambo ya Linda Ground, ya Linda Wananchi, mambo ya Western. Unajua, this is the longest I think President Ruto is spending in any region, 9 days. Those are 2 full weeks, 9 working days. Na inamaanisha kuwa hii weekend na hii wiki inakuja, na kwanza kumbuka kesho ni holiday. So matusi yatainuka sana kuanzia kesho. My advice would be him as president, akuje aombe msamaha, ambie wa Kenya mimi ni binadamu, waliniongelea vibaya. Maybe if he has health issues that show why he's reduced his weight significantly. You know, all of us, we are on the same path. You know, you're sick today, I'm sick tomorrow. I'm healthy today, you're sick tomorrow. So I think 2 things. Ruto needs to come out and apologize and be the bigger person. We as a country, we cannot request the same from Gachagua or Matiang'i or anything. And let me surprise you. Eugene responded to the president. Na kamwambia anamheshimu sana. Na kamwambia haelewi kwa nini kila mara akikuwa kwa Eugene, kwa sababu Ruto akienda Trans Nzoia anapenda kutusi sana Eugene akikuwa huko. Eugene alitoa statement na akamuongelesha kwa heshima, na akamwambia kuna mambo hata kama sisi tuko na different political ideals, hatuwezi zungumzana mbele ya watu. You know, Eugene alisema kuwa me having a different political ideology from you does not make us enemies. So we cannot stoop low to start insulting one another. Matiang'i alimjibu akamwambia mimi sikuli kwako, na wewe unaenda gym, mimi siendi gym, mimi niko sawa. You get Natembea answered him, Natembea kamuuliza sasa kama you know, pia Natembea aliongea mambo mengine hata mpaka tukashindwa sasa ni nini kinaendelea. But as a citizen of this country, I love my country very much, and whether I like it or not, Ruto is the president. We expect direction from the president. The morality compass of this country, the heartbeat of that morality compass is from the presidency. Sasa kama yeye anaanza kututusi hivi kila siku, hatuna morals, tutaambia nini watoto wetu?
Vibaya. Shikilia hapo, kwa sababu sasa katika awamu ya pili tutazungumzia kuhusu vugu lenyu. Nafahamu kwamba unaunga mkono Edwin Watenya Sifuna, na jana wameweza kuzungumza wakiongozwa na James Orengo, wakasema wataweza kuhudhuria kongamano lile ambalo ni la mkutano wa viongozi wale ambao ni ODM tarehe 27 mwezi huu. Tumezungumza mengi, tuzame kidogo tuibuke na hayo na mengine mengi. Karibu tena kwenye awamu ya pili, tumalizie kipindi hichi cha mawimbi ya wiki. Steve Biko, tuzungumzie hili vugu lenyu la Linda Mwananchi. Sasa hivi imekuwa pumziko la Ramadhani. Siku ya Ijumaa, siku ya kesho kutakuwa ni mapumziko. Siku ya Jumapili mnatua Narok. Mwanzo katika msimu huu wa Ramadhani mmejipanga vipi ili muweze kukubalika jinsi ambavyo mmekuwa mkikubalika katika maeneo ya Kakamega na maeneo mengine katika kaunti ya Narok?
So ili kikundi cha Linda Wananchi tulikuwa tumechukua break vile umesema, lakini sasa kuanzia Sunday mambo ya Ramadhani yanaisha kesho, so Mungu akipenda kuanzia Sunday tutakuwa Narok, then tukitoka Narok tutarudi Nairobi hii Friday inakuja, si ya kesho, ya next week. Then tukitoka hapo twende Mombasa Saturday, tukitoka hapo then twende upande wa Turkana tukielekea other parts of the country. We are a group of young leaders who understand the things that are happening in this country. Most of us actually have thrown our hearts in the race because we've complained for too long. We've been crying for better leaders. We believe Kenya has enough resources to make sure that every individual Kenya, whether you're a watchman or a cook or from Jengo, you live a good life. And you can be able to have a family that can afford education and that can be able to afford healthcare. And for a very long time, Baba was, that beloved figure in the country. And you know what happened to Baba's politics from 2007 to 2013, 2017 to 2022. And unfortunately, alituacha. The interesting thing about this group is that Sifuna, the senator for Nairobi, he's been on record as the only politician willing to give his life for a better Kenya. If you listen to every single speech Sifuna has been speaking about, it's been very clear. I will fight for the constitution, I will fight for the small person. And you ask what is our plan, you ask where are we heading to. I know a lot of people have asked Sifuna if he's going for the presidency, and he's not given an answer for two good reasons. If we are asking him to be president, are we going to vote for him? Kwa sababu tunaweza tumwambia aende kuvai kwa president na tutakuwa nyuma yake. And number two, Kenya, the one thing that he's been very vocal about is we have one agenda, and our agenda is Ruto must go home. Ruto's leadership has failed. Ruto has failed in terms of being able to create jobs for young people. He's failed in terms of dealing with corruption, the element of housing levy, the element of SHA. I mean, Kenyans are really struggling. So this particular group is focused on building influence that will usher in the right leaders. Not just one person, but we want to, you know that Damascus moment that we had in 2002, when the entire country said Moi should go home, and we ushered in proper politics, and that led to the birth of our current 2010 constitution. So is Sifuna going for presidency? Is Babu going for presidency? The main agenda is to build influence. The influence that will make sure that from the MCA to the president we have new people.
Hapo kwa influence kuna maswali yale ambayo yaliweza kujitokeza, na nikamtazama Babu Owino, mbunge wa Embakasi Mashariki, akiulizwa katika hili vugu lenu nani ambaye ni kiongozi, kwa sababu kwa mara nyingi tumezoea kwamba kiongozi yule ambaye anazungumza mwisho, huyo ndiye kiongozi wa kikundi fulani. Tumemwona James Orengo kwa mara nyingi amekuwa akizungumza kama kiongozi wa mwisho. Na mara nyingi vijana hawa wengine kina Babu Owino, Ototi na vile Sifuna na wengine wakiwa wamekuwa kiweza kumsifia sana Gavana James Orengo. Na vile kumekuwa na maswali kati ya Sifuna na yule ndugu yake kutoka upande wa Embakasi Mashariki, Babu Owino, nani kiongozi halisi wa vugu hili, isiwe kwamba ni kama vugu lile ambalo ni la vijana wa Gen Z waliosema kwamba wao ni partyless na ni leaderless?
Allow me to be very honest. You've taken some words from my mouth. There's a reason why the Gen Z people, the Gen Z protest were very successful. Because we have a government that is very petty. The moment you rise up and they realize that you're going to be a problem for them, they will take you out. Look at how the Gen Z revolution has been dealt with. Look at how notable people who are very active back then and where they are right now. Linda Wananchi has young people who are pushing for one agenda, better leaders for this country. And you've seen for yourself. I like how politics has been playing from 2024, 2025. There's a reason why young people say they were leaderless and they were partyless. Now they found a leader. Now we know whom we can listen to. And once we've identified this particular leader, there are two things we need to do. Is one, make sure that the 30 million youth register to be voters. Everyone. Anyone who is a young person, has attained the age of 18, must get a voter's card. So that's the agenda. That's the agenda for Babu, for Edwin Sifuna, for Caleb Amisi, for myself, for Matere, that we're doing. Making sure that all the young people get registered as voters. And in terms of asking us who's the pillar of this group, and you've spoken about James Orengo. You know, James Orengo is one leader that this country has never appreciated. James Orengo, from the word go, has been a clear leader who's always fought for the right, the rule of law, respect and adherence to the Constitution, and he's always spoken for the little person. When Raila decided to help Ruto stabilize the country during at the height of the Gen Z protest, James Orengo was very against that, and he candidly and well explained why he was not for Baba and Ruto coming together, and without fear he remained steadfast. Even until until Raila died, James has been very clear on what he stands for. He's never wavered in his agenda and his morals. And he's identifying himself with us because in him we see someone who's willing to hold our hands, one, to mentor us, to give us the right direction. He's an eldest. He's an elder. And he's an elder that when we stand on his shoulders, we can see far. He's the only elder in this country currently who's willing to let us stand on his shoulders so that we can be able to see far and be able to see where we can be able to take this country. And Sifuna has been very clear. Sifuna said that he's very happy with Orengo being part of the Linda Wananchi team because he's mentoring us, he's guiding us. He has a wealth of experience. He's an intelligent man. He's still very strong. He's very clear in his mind, and he's loved by all Kenyans.
Huyo ni Orengo, Sifuna na Babu Owino, kati hao wawili, kwa sababu ile sababu ambayo nataka kusisitiza kwa hili, hata ule wakati ambao alikuwa katika kaunti ya Kakamega walikuwa katika gari moja tu, unaonekana wao ndio picha ile kwa anaweza kuangaza sana kwao. Hao wawili ni nani ambaye ndio kiongozi wa vuguvugu lenu?
Wacha ni kujibu in a way utanielewa vizuri. The last 2-3 months, something new has been happening in this country. Young people suddenly are feeling energetic. Young people are realizing we found our leader. And Babu and Edwin Sifuna, they're very close friends. We share same ideals. We want a better Kenya. We want a prosperous Kenya. We want equity. We want justice. We want fairness. The reason why James Orengo, I'm coming back to answer you. The reason why James Orengo is loved is, sorry for that, is because he's agreed to hold our hands and move with us. And he's agreed to, we are all, Sifuna is very ambitious. Babu is very ambitious. Miss is very ambitious. I am very ambitious. So our ambition, so that our ambition does not clash, so that we do not repeat the mistakes of our four elders, Akina Kijana Wamalwa and Jaramogi Odinga, what they did in 1991 and 1997, where the opposition split and made Moi win. We are sitting down and we are talking, and we are going to agree who's going to be our leader. And I think, without saying it, who our leader is. If we are going to stand up and say who's our leader, for me, as an aspirant in Western Kenya, I'm aligned to Sifuna because I believe Sifuna has the courage that we need. Sifuna has no baggage of any sort. Sifuna has no corruption scandal. Sifuna has not had any court case. So in terms of how do we proceed, Sifuna is a clear lead. But I need Kenyans to understand, we are not fighting for Sifuna to be president. We're not fighting for Babu to be president. No, we are fighting to have that influence that will remove Ruto from power. We are fighting for that influence that will make sure that Kenyans vote for the right MPs. Because if Parliament was independent, we will not be in the current mess we are in. If Senate was independent, we will not be in this mess. So in the backstage we are talking, and Babu wants to be governor. Sifuna has not. Sifuna has made it clear that he's a senator for Nairobi for now. So for now, there's only one thing. The main reason we are going around the country is to talk to young people and let them know that we are the alternative voice, and we are asking them one question: do you want to support us? And when they say yes, then we are telling them, go get your voters card.
Sawa. Tuzungumze sasa kuhusu chama cha ODM, chama kile ambacho Gavana James Agri Orengo ameshikilia kwamba Senator Edwin Otienya Sifuna yeye ndiye anasalia kama katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM. Japo katika mkutano ule ambao amekuwa na ujuzi, wamezungumza na wanahabari, wamesema kwamba hawataenenda katika mkutano huo, japo atakuwa na mkutano wao wenyewe kama vuguvugu la Linda Mwananchi na wengine wale ambao ni walinda ground wakuwa na mkutano wao. Swali ni hili, mko wapi? Mko ODM ama mko katika chama kipi, ili iweze kueleweka nyinyi mko upande gani? Ni ODM ama ni upande wenyu wa Linda Mwananchi ambapo mtaki kushirikiana na mtaki kuweza kuchukua chama cha ODM?
As of today, Edwin Sifuna is the senator for Nairobi and is the current Secretary General of ODM. That has not changed, and that is not going to change. And I know the party is supposed to have a delegates meeting in March. I know there's Linda Ground and Linda Wananchi. What I know is that Sifuna will fight. He knows his rights as the SG. He will fight to retain the seat. If the party has honest engagements, Sifuna will retain being the SG. And until such a time when matters will change, Sifuna will keep fighting to remain the SG. And we are behind him because we believe ODM is a party that's been there for 20 years. It's a party that espouses what Raila Odinga stood for. And we also need to understand that our young children, our Gen Z have made us realize one thing. You don't need to be a leader. I mean, you can be a leader without having any party affiliations. Gen Z have been able to really hold Ruto accountable being partyless. So we believe that the trips we are doing around the country, it's enabling us to talk to the young people and to hear their views. And once we hear their views, we are coming back, sitting down and trying to align ourselves to the young, because we believe any progress, any democracy should always put the interests of the people first. And the most important thing is I've learned one thing. I've learned to deal with facts and not opinions, because opinions bring in feelings and emotions. The law is very clear. I'm not a member of ODM, but I'm a member of Linda Wananchi, and I believe Sifuna will do what it needs to, and until such a time when he believes either ODM will be the right vehicle to help him achieve his dreams, or he will leave to another party. We have senior leaders in the country. There are a lot of political parties that are willing and waiting. Should we need to get there? Raila really mentored Sifuna. I come from Western Kenya, and if you look at how Raila mentored people, Raila was very close to Sifuna, Oparanya, Kalabamisi, and these are strong leaders who still want to push and hold in trust the views and principles that Raila stood for. So I believe I believe the fight for ODM soul is a very painful fight, because if Baba were to wake up today, he'll be very shocked to see what Ruto has done to his political party. And the thing that I'm hoping Kenyans can understand from what I'm saying is, we need leaders who are honest. We do not need schemers. We need leaders who know that you're not my enemy because you're in Wiper, I'm in ODM. No, and that's a problem. We are very self-centered. The current political class is only in positions to amass wealth, and that is why the country is really struggling so much and not having a way forward. But I believe that at the right time, Sifuna will make the right decision. We are waiting to see who will attend the delegates meeting. We are praying, but also we are talking to people. We are mobilizing, and I think any Kenyan who wants to have hospitals working, schools working, roads working, security working, needs to wake up, get a voter's card and go and vote.
Haya, kwa sababu mbona tumalizie na hili japo maswali kama matatu hivi ya mwisho. La kwanza ni hili, umesema kwamba Sifuna na nyinyi wale ambao pengine mnaweza kumunga mkono mtaweza kuangazia ni chama kipi kile ambacho ni cha kwenda. Gavana wa kaunti ya Trans Nzoia Natembeya aliweza kunukuliwa akisema kwamba ni vema nyinyi mje katika ule ambao ni mrengo wa upinzani, wanasema ni alternative government. Mwanzo mko tayari kuweza kujiunga na ule muungano wa upinzani?
Tell you one thing, personally as Steve Biko, I believe that this government has failed, and I believe that this government should be voted out. So I will be part of the people that will send this government home. I also believe that as our leader, Sifuna will make the right decision at the right time. And I want to tell Kenyans one thing. It's us versus Ruto. From Kalonzo to Matiang'i to Gachagua to Sifuna to Babu to Amisi, we are the alternative leadership. We are not going to have 3-4 presidential candidates. We're going to have one leader from the opposition side to square it off with the current president. So I want Kenyans to know one thing, that we've learned from the mistakes of our elders, the mistakes we did in 1991, in 1997, and 2002. Matiba. Yes, and we remember when Matiba went on his side, and Kibaki went on his side, and Jaramogi went on his side. Collectively they had like 4 million votes. Moi won like with 1 point something. So I mean, if they'd united, Moi would have gone home in 1992. So what I know is that the united opposition is talking. We will announce our candidate soon. We are moving around the country talking to people, trying to hear their voice, and we have an agenda. And the agenda is very clear, because I've heard the president saying that us who have a divergent view, we are clueless. We know how to, as a united opposition, we know how to create the jobs. If we are given the opportunity to run this country, we will create jobs. At least 2.5 million a year. We will fix corruption. We will get every person responsible jailed. In fact, I'm a believer in capital punishment for every corrupt person. I believe that we will fix healthcare. I believe that we will fix our security. I believe that we will fix tribalism. And I think the most important thing that we have a very clear agenda on is how to fix education. So I know Ruto is a very scheming, clever politician, and that's why you're hearing who's going to be the united opposition candidate. We are going to announce in due time. I mean, elections are next year. Time is moving. Things are moving very fast. Someone told me yesterday that time is moving so fast that politicians are now panicking, trying to impress other people. For me, the final take is Kenyans need to trust in themselves as citizens of this country. They need to believe in their constitution. We need to believe in our constitution. That is the one, actually, ndio hii hapa. Wacha tu niwaonyeshe vizuri kweli. Ndio hii hapa, the Constitution of Kenya 2010. I always work with it. It's always on my desk. Before I say something, I'm always talking about this. My request is every Kenyan to have this copy. Let them understand the powers of the president, the powers of parliament, the powers of the Senate. They will know that we can bring change, that our democracy can work. And I know that if we want a good leader, we will elect a good leader. We have the opportunity to do that. My prayer is that we can be able to look beyond the propaganda and the fake news and the fake scenarios, and trying to subdivide us according to, tribes and things like that. I am Bukusu and Kamba and Somali. What does that make me? I'm a true Kenyan. So I stand for a true Kenyan. Whether I really don't care who you are, where you come from, but as long as you respect the law, if you're given a political office, you will do right by the law, and we can move forward.
Asante. Tumalizie na ambition zako na malengo yako ya kutaka kuongoza wakazi na Wakenya kutoka upande wa Webuye Magharibi. Mwanzo, ni kipi kile ambacho kimekusukuma sana ukataka kuelekea upande ule wa Webuye Magharibi? Sasa hivi Dan Wanyama anasema kwamba anatenda kazi. Unataka kufanya kazi gani Webuye Magharibi?
Acha nikupe story. Mwaka wa 2024 nilikuwa attacked na wezi na wakaniumiza sana, na ilikuwa jioni. Actually it was on 31st May 2024. I remember President Ruto was in Bungoma then, and I collapsed. I was out. I woke up a couple of days later in MTRH in Eldoret, and I remember my dad, my bishop, my reverend were really, they did everything to get me where they got me. They did a lot of prayer. The one thing that made me panic when I woke up is that Bungoma has no functioning hospital. Hakuna hospitali Bungoma. Hakuna MRI Bungoma. Hakuna CT scan Bungoma. Hakuna a functioning dialysis machine Bungoma. Hakuna x-ray yenye na function. Bungoma hakuna ICU bed yenye kwa public hospital. ICU bed inapatikana private hospital na ni mbili. Unanielewa? Bungoma County. Na hata si Bungoma County, Trans Nzoia County, Bungoma, Kakamega, Vihiga hakuna. Tukikuwa wagonjwa Webuye tunaenda MTRH. Ukikuwa mgonjwa Busia unaenda MTRH.
Hiyo iko Moi. Hiyo iko
Eldoret. Ukikuwa mgonjwa na cancer manini unakuja Nairobi ama unaenda Eldoret. Unanielewa? Pili, Chwele market is the second biggest fresh market in the country after Karatina. Hii ni market ambayo wakulima wote wa Bungoma wanauzanga chakula yao. Chakula tunanuanga mboga, machungwa, cabbage hapa Marigiti market inatoka Chwele. But ukienda Chwele, ukiangalia barabara za wakulima na penye sokoni iko hakuna barabara.
Chwele kwa Webuye Magharibi.
Chwele iko Bungoma, iko Sirisia. But ninakupea mfano kwa sababu eneo la Western Kenya alina development. Watu wa Western Kenya, people in Western Kenya do not understand the role of an MP. That is number one. The reason why I was telling you what happened to me. So I made a decision that I will vie for the Webuye West MP seat, so that as the MP, I can go to Parliament and push for laws that will direct development to Western Kenya. That when I get to Parliament, I can make sure that every single tax that we pay from Webuye Kenya comes back to us to bring electricity, build schools, build hospitals. We pay taxes, especially all of us. We are 50-something. All of us pay direct taxes. Where do those taxes go? You get? So we've had the current MP is having his third term. There's nothing he's done. Webuye West gets a total of 120 million per year in CDF fund. No development, no new school. Hata tukupaka tu kuta ya primary schools. Hakuna. We got devolution in 2010. We had the first county governments in 2013. Bungoma has not built a new road since we got devolution. No single new road. We have the main highway, the 104, the northern corridor from Mombasa to Malaba. That's a national road. We have the highway, I think 108 or something kutoka Kitale to Kisumu. That road was done by the World Bank when Kibaki was president. Those are the only roads that crisscross Bungoma. Ndani Bungoma huko ni kubaya sana. Our literacy level in Webuye is 86. We actually at par with Nairobi, Kasarani and Roysambu and Westlands in terms of literacy. We have more teachers, more lawyers, more journalists. So I'm pushing to be the next MP for Webuye West, so that I can be able to make sure that one, our taxes are spent very well, so that we can have a level 6, at least one level 6 hospital in Webuye. We can have at least one critical education center for lower primary, one for junior secondary, and one for senior. I want to become MP so that I can push for a nursing school. in the region. We are strategically at the center of East Africa. It's 2 hours from my home to Kampala. It's 8 hours from my home to Nairobi. And many people come for treatment in Kenya from the region. So having a nursing school in Webuye would be very ideal. Yeah. We've seen a lot of prime arable land being converted into commercial or residential. We've seen Kiambu. Kiambu is a proper agricultural land. It's now jungle, it's a concrete jungle. So I want to get to Parliament and push for a law that will protect arable land from real estate development, so that we can purely access credit to do either agro-processing, agricultural farming, or manufacturing. The entire land, and this is very important, and I hope that you can be able to highlight it well. The entire land in Western Kenya has been deemed ancestral land. This was a decision made by the first government in 1972 that deemed the entire land in Western Kenya ancestral. This means that you cannot use your land to get a loan for development. When you offer your land as collateral, bank itakwambia lakini hii ni shamba ya ancestral. Inakuanga na mambo mingi sana in case ushinde kulipa kuuza au sijui uko ufanye nini. So there's been a deliberate direct government policy that has made sure that Western Kenya does not develop. So one of the things I want to do as an MP is to make sure that we remove that deeming that Western land is ancestral and make it commercial or viable for agriculture, so that we can be able to access credit. Yeah. And I also believe the region has a lot of talent. So push for development of facilities that will nurture sports, athletics, music, and basically be able to steer the region to a different place. I think as a business person, I have networks that can help me achieve what I want to do in terms of building a proper healthcare infrastructure, building a proper education infrastructure, security. What I want is that I want the citizens of Webuye West, whether they are farmers or watchmen, for them to be proud that their sons and their daughters can go to a good school in Webuye West, go to a good high school, and go train in a good hospital and get a job, because our taxes will be spent very well. The role of an MP is basically to make sure that the national government spends the taxes very well. And we know this government is a spendthrift, and they're simply looting. So those are my views and what's challenged me. My attack on my person and my health is what has actually driven me there, because I think I'm alive because of God's mercy. I know doctors did that a bit, but I think God has had a purpose for me. He saved me. So I think, yeah, I mean we need a change in leaders. We need a new political grouping. Yes.
Asante. Kila laheri kwa kuwania kwako upande ule wa magharibi mwa Kenya, Webuye Magharibi. Lakini kumbuka sana kwamba Rais William Ruto amesema kwamba uwanja mmoja katika kaunti ya Bungoma utakuwa kama mfano wa uwanja wa Emirates, na kumbuka zaidi kwamba amesema barabara nyingi atazijenga. Asante sana Steve Biko kwa muda wako. Asante. Nimekuwepo naye Steve Biko, anawania kiti cha ubunge katika maeneo yale ya Webuye Magharibi. Tumezungumza mengi yale ambayo yanafungamana na masuala mazima ya uongozi na uongozi bora wa viongozi wetu humu nchini, na vile vile jinsi ambavyo vuguvugu lao la Linda Mwananchi wanavyojiandaa. Mimi ni Zablon Mashare. Kwa usiku mwanana. Kwa heri.